confirmed?
I don't know if that's the case, if it's the same people that from the spreadsheet that I sent you the other time.
No, I got a list from people from, I don't know, I got the list from you, Justin, and then I have a list of confirmed people. So it's Lola, Sylvia, Sadia, Kevin, and Christine.
Maria, that was in Excel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we just need to, I don't know, reach out. While Laura and I reach out, would you guys be willing to just do a little prep, or maybe start up a little bit since I have it on record?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ria. Welcome to Healthy Traditions. This is Kelly. She'll be helping out with the facilitation, and we'll be cooking today 2 recipes: pineapple cucumber salsa, and pineapple cucumber gazpacho.
Okay. So I'll start with the pineapple. If you are coming to Metro Caring in the next few days, we have a lot of pineapples and cucumbers, cilantro, peppers, and so we thought let's see what great things we can come up with that are good with these. And cucumbers and pineapple are a great marriage when it comes to gazpacho and salsa. So we'll start with this lovely pineapple and show you how to cut it. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom down so you can see just my hands for the most part. And these are pretty ripe pineapples. That's probably why we have them at the store. You can kind of tell by just pulling out the center of one. If it comes out pretty easy, it's pretty ripe, okay? A lot of times you can smell them too. If you're not wearing a mask, it helps. But anyway, we'll just start with that. So to cut the pineapple, I take my knife and I like to grab it this way and wrap my fingers around like that. So I'm kind of high up on the knife. I'm just gonna take the top off. We do not have very sharp knives here. Sharp knives are definitely safer.
A luxury.
Get that off. But it's the first time we've been in the Metro Caring kitchen since March. And in fact, it almost looks like no one's been in the Metro Caring kitchen since March, because look at the decorations. We're just gonna take a little segue here and show you that.
I love the St. Patty's Day.
The St. Patrick's.
You have to go up a little bit to see it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Did you see it now? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, it's decorated for St. Patrick's Day. Kind of feels a little eerie coming into that. But anyway, okay, back to the pineapple. So once you've cut it that way, then I would just cut it in half. And keep your fingers out of the way. Okay, and now you have a nice flat surface to work with, which is like this. And from there, just quarter it. Now this, of course, is if we're going to chop or cut cubes into a pineapple. If we were going to do rings, we would leave it in one piece and then cut it this way after we take the top parts, this part off. Then what I like to do is set it up and take that core out, that little hard piece in the middle. From there, you can do one of two things. You can use your knife and, since these knives aren't very sharp, I don't think this is probably the best idea. So what I'm just gonna do is just go down. I'm making kind of a tunnel like this, okay? And I'm just going to cut my cubes, kind of like this, okay? And
I've never seen that method before. That's pretty neat.
And it should be fairly easy, especially if you have a sharper knife, to saw off these cubes. But again, I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble because of the knife. So try to sharpen your knives if you can. Anyway, you got some cubes there. We can cube them smaller for our salsa. I think a 1/4 inch is probably the size dice you're gonna want for a salsa. Okay, so just like that. Now let's see if I can do this one a little differently. Because what I really like to do is just go down like this and take it off if my knife is sharp. Again, it's a little hard with these knives. So bad. Okay, and then maybe take that end off so that I can hold it up. Does that make any sense? You can see these are pretty ripe, but that's going to be good. They're going to be super sweet. The riper fruit gets, the sweeter it gets. So one thing that I like about pineapple is it's high in an enzyme called bromelain. And bromelain is helpful to fight infection, especially infection in your nasal passages and things like that. So with the COVID issues and everything, it might just be a nice little natural protection for us to eat some pineapple right now. And this was the center that we don't want. So here I'm just cutting some sticks. This will make it easier for me to cut in this direction now. Bromelain also helps us break down our proteins. So it's the enzyme that kind of helps with that. So, you know, always good to have that extra digestive help in life. Okay. So now
I'll take that help.
Yeah. So you get to eat something yummy and know that you're getting healthy. I'm going to give these 2 pieces to Rhea. She's going to be working with them. Just doing a really small salsa for now. Okay, so I've, again, cut them the size you would like for your salsa. I think they're a little too big, and it's okay to kind of chop them up too. Okay, get those into a bowl. And then and we have a recipe that we're gonna put on the website for you. Okay, next will be a little bit of a purple onion. Now, if you don't have a purple onion, use a regular onion or use scallions if you'd like, it doesn't matter. So on an onion, what I like to do first is just cut it from the root side to the side that's going to come up, like this. Okay, and then I'm going to take off one end and peel it back, peel off the skin. A little hard to do with gloves on, but we're being very careful here. And I'm going to then take the tip of my knife, this end of my knife, and cut in this direction.
Hi, Kevin. Just wanted to say hi.
Kevin.
So, Kevin, if you want to, my name's Justin, by the way, so I didn't get to introduce myself yet, but by coming today, if you would like an extra shopping voucher, you qualify for a walk-in appointment just by coming, and you wouldn't have to schedule it. You can come at any time, and it would be an additional appointment. And we could put you in our system. So if at any time you want to do that, all you would have to do is go to the chat in the bottom and message me privately, Justin. and then I can help you register for that. But basically, it just requires name and date of birth so we can get you in our system.
Justin?
Yeah.
We've been recording this class since we couldn't get you on there when we should have. And what I'm doing right now is just adding some diced purple onion to some pineapple that I cut up. What we have in the store right now is pineapple and cucumbers and a lot of things to make some good salsas and gazpachos. So I was demonstrating how to cut up an onion, and we are actually recording this, so you'll be able to see this if you want and go back and catch up if you'd like. The next thing I'm going to throw in there is some cucumber. And so on the cucumber, I'm just going to use a little bit of it. I'm going to take the seeds out of this cucumber. So I'm taking off both ends, okay? Putting my fingers this way like a tunnel and cutting straight down. And then with a spoon, I'm going to remove the seeds. So it looks like that, okay? Just scraping out the seeds. And you don't have to, but my personal preference with salsas is not to have a whole bunch of seeds in them. So, and then I'm just gonna make these strips. And notice I lay it so that it's a little more stable by laying it flat. And try to use a sharp knife if you have. I keep talking about that. It's kind of hard to cut with a phone knife. And then we're just going to rock it this way and make little dices. Cucumbers have some good nutritional value as well. So these are all great items to be eating late summer. Actually, I guess we're in fall now, officially, aren't we?
It is officially fall. Wow. That went by fast.
Yesterday. Ria said yesterday it became fall.
Do they still have a lot of these cucumbers down in the market?
There's a ton of cucumbers. There was some fresh cilantro this morning. So if you can get to the market soon, it's looking good right now, I think. There are some beautiful tomatoes, even some heirloom tomatoes. Okay, so we've got all of this mixed in here, right? Then we also had some really good looking jalapenos going on at the store. So yeah, looks like maybe for a while, hopefully. So on the jalapeno, if you don't know this, you probably do, but this is where the heat is the membrane and the seeds. So depending on how hot you want your peppers or your salsa, you remove what you want of those. I should have a bowl here, guys. We got a little discombobulated here. So I'm taking all those out for this one.
Goodbye spiciness.
Yeah, I mean, it'll still have some
Some of
spice,
it anyway.
and we can add more if we want. And then again, I'm gonna cut skin side down on a pepper, especially with a dull knife. It'll make it a little easier to get through that skin. And I'm just gonna make my strips. And then kind of slice these nice and small, okay?
Dull knife.
It's
Life.
so hard for me. I'm pretty good at cutting, but this is hard. Dull knives are very dangerous. A sharp knife is way safer. But we can't find the sharpener. We don't know where it went. I'm just gonna get that nice and fine in there. I'm just gonna go with just that amount. Throw that in. Got that. Then I'm going to add some fresh lime, or you could just use lime juice. That little bit of citrus acid is nice. You could even use, if you have lemon instead, it would work too. So I'm just gonna squeeze that in there. Sometimes I just use a fork and roll it around. And you know, that's preference, how much you want to use. And the recipe you'll get, it'll say half and way more of this, okay? So you can cut this down to whatever size you want on the salsa. And then next is a little bit of garlic. Garlic's always good, so we had some garlic cloves. If you don't have any garlic cloves, which I did not see in our market, you know, if you have just a small amount of garlic salt or garlic powder, that would work too. So just remember, when you're using a fresh herb or, you know, thing like that, you use a lot more than you do if it's dry. So really the ratio is kind of like, let's say, fresh, what would be an example? Well, like this might be a whole tablespoon of this chopped up. You would only use a third of that if it were dried. So it would be about a teaspoon of that. I think a good example would be basil. Fresh basil, let's say you're using 3 tablespoons of fresh basil, you'd only use 1 tablespoon if it were dry.
I never mind accidentally using too much garlic for some reason. Delicious.
Like another great thing for our blood, and it what? Right, it's very good. For that reason, and also, you know, it actually has some antibacterial functions too. So again,
Fungus in your toenails, just put it on and leave it for an hour for every day for a few months.
does it help?
It helps.
I don't know if you could hear that, but Ria was talking about fungus, toenail fungus, and that garlic can be helpful that way. I do know it does have some really good antibacterial. I think anything we can do to keep our immune system strong.
I did not know about the toenail fungus. That is a good.
I didn't either.
Do I eat it or rub it on there?
I just leave it for a few for an hour or so, and for about depending on how deep your fungus is.
Oh, you're a little faint in the background, Ria.
She said leave it on for about an hour. Okay, then I'm going to take some cilantro, which they have beautiful cilantro in the store right now. And I'm just mostly going to use the leaves. A little stem is okay, but I'm going to stick with mostly the leaf. Do you know what the spice is that is also from the same thing? Do you know which?
I do.
Which one is it?
I don't know. Anybody else know?
Laura does. She taught me about it.
Okay, which one is it? Somebody tell us.
You're muted, Laura.
Yeah, you're muted.
I'm sorry, I missed the specific question.
So there's a spice that also comes from the same plant that the leaf comes from. It's the seed of the cilantro plant. What is
Oh,
which spice?
coriander.
What is it?
Coriander.
Yeah, coriander. Totally different taste too.
But I know that in England and in Europe and a lot of places in India, they say coriander is the leaf and not the seed.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah, they call the leaf coriander.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that as well. They call the whole plant coriander.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
'Cause that's like the original Latinized name, I think.
Ah.
That the
Well,
cilantro was like a name that was like attributed to the plant that was like a similar herb, but it came from another language and they just confused it as something else.
But it also will take.
Yeah, there's some Indian cookbooks too, and they call it coriander in there, so it can be quite confusing.
Oh, yeah.
But in Spanish, they say cilantro though, right? Cilantro means this herb.
And you know, the funny thing too about cilantro is you can be genetically predisposed to not liking the taste of cilantro. It tastes, to people that have that genetic makeup, I've heard students I've taught tell me it tastes like dirty diapers, which I don't know how they would know how that tastes. But the smell of that, or something that bad, or soap. So, and when we did the 23andMe testing, that was one of the tests that came up, was whether you had that problem with cilantro.
I did that also.
And do you?
I think it said I was more likely to have that problem, but I don't have that problem. I love cilantro.
Yeah, we
My
don't.
grandpa has that problem.
But
Hates it.
I do recognize now, I used to give my culinary students a hard time for not eating it and thinking they were just being silly. But now I feel for them because I know that they're just made that way. So what I just added was a little bit of salt, kosher salt, and a little bit of pepper. And voila. You could also throw in some chopped up avocado, get a little bit more like a pico de gallo there, going with all of these lovely things. But yeah, and are they from downstairs too? There's avocados here and tomatoes.
Yeah, there's plenty of avocados.
Plenty of avocados. So I'm gonna taste this. Okay.
That's not fair, Jennifer.
So
I gotta say, it's really good. And what I love about salsas,
I dig it.
this would be good with chips, obviously. But I think it would taste really good with, you know, some chicken or some fish on the side, or even pork, you know, pork chop or something like that. It would be lovely with any of those things. So now we're gonna send it over to a similar recipe, but you turn it into more of a soup. So here we go. I'm bringing it over. And you've got the beautiful woman over here that's going to teach you now.
Hi. Hi, Kevin. My name is Ria. I've been doing the cooking class since January, but here cooking lessons in Metro K for 3 years now. 3 years. It used to be a cooking class, but then we converted it this January into a club. Today we're doing using almost the same ingredients: jalapeno, cilantro, cucumber, and pineapple. It's gonna be a gazpacho. It's a gazpacho, which is just means a cold soup. And we're gonna all blend it in there. So I'm all just doing, taking out the seed from it.
That's one thing I always forget to do with cucumbers. De-seed.
If you don't have these regular cucumbers, and you could also use, I'm imagining the hot English cucumbers.
And you don't have
I
to.
love those.
They're longer and they have less seeds on them, so I didn't de-seed them. So
I'm going to give you this too.
it doesn't seem these cucumbers have a lot of seeds, so they don't even have seeds anyway. And we're gonna put them in the blender jar. Everything's gonna be blended, so this is the easiest part here. You could blend it. You could use we could have done in those handheld blenders, immersions. Yeah, if you have one. Well, we used to have
Oh, I
one.
don't know.
We used to have one. What happened to it? Honestly, I looked for it. We used to have a handheld immersion.
Yeah, I think that went away a long time.
I kind of like that one. I always used it.
Did you think I mean?
No, just ask for
Oh,
spellings.
that's for the scouting.
But I could use it a little bit. I don't know how to.
Leave it here.
There we go. Everything's gonna go into yours, so doesn't matter how big you're gonna blend it in. The paste go in there. It's gonna make it. I don't know why. I'm gonna use some of it.
Kevin, do you have any questions?
Is he muted?
Yeah,
The mic is shut off, so it's hard to.
Can you hear me with the mask on?
I can hear you okay. Sometimes it's a little muffled. It depends. I know we're all just learning these technologies too, and sometimes the mics don't always work.
No. I normally have my own mic, but I'm using a handful of cilantro goes in there. A few tablespoons of olive oil. I say 3.
Yum.
Lemon juice. The reason I do it this way because the seeds will stay in it. Lemon juice will go in there. If you don't have lemon juice, you could use lime.
I always stab my lemons with a fork,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, never tried
often
that.
to de-seed them.
They're hard. I didn't know they were gonna be this hard. Just both lemon and lime.
I've also added a handful of mint to mine in the past, along with all this for this particular one. And I like that taste in there too. A little
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
mint. So if you have any mint available, which is grown all over the place, so
Nice.
that's
Sounds refreshing.
Yeah, it grows like a weed.
it does. It grows like a weed. Okay, now we have 2 Kevins on there.
Maybe 2, maybe the same Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. I hope you're there. It's not working.
I can hear you a little bit.
You know, I'm here.
Are you guys
We're gonna quickly check our blender's not working. on this out.
Oh, of course, right. There's still a few blenders under there.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring that, I'm gonna bring this over, and we're coming over to this side now. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Okay, blended.
We have
Oh
a,
no, it was so ready to go. There it goes. Wow. I can't even hear it, which is the cool part.
No, I can't either.
I know normally we go 10 to 11, but I think we'll give some extra time, however much we want for the recipe. I've never had a pineapple gazpacho. That sounds so good.
Sounds really nice.
now, one of the things I do on a gazpacho is I keep a few chunks of like the cucumber and pineapple unblended to add in there. Just I like to have a little bit of chunky in there. But you don't have to do that. It's just kind of yummy.
Looks so fresh.
I don't really blend it up.
I like chunks in my soup too.
And this one is really good with some sprinkling of any kind of nuts on top. I like it with macadamia or pistachio or any kind of a nut on top of that. Just sprinkled on top really tastes good, especially if it's roasted or toasted. So, yeah, so take a little bit of summer again from in two different versions of almost the same thing.
Almost the same.
Yeah. And again, it's just a really pretty stuff with, and it really pairs well with anything else you're eating.
Let's make guacamole. Myself some more.
Yeah, and I also like it with slices of avocado on the top, just garnishing it, or pieces of avocado thrown in there too, which we have a lot of at the store today. So,
Would you suggest chilling it in the fridge for a little while?
Yeah,
Yes.
chill it for a few hours.
Yeah.
before serving it.
chilling is the best idea with gazpacho. Gazpacho gets better the longer it sits around, I think. So, just something to consider. I think that lighting is, we should probably go this way again.
Great. It's loaded with vitamins, minerals, and lots of fiber. Super refreshing.
Refreshing, so you don't have to like kill yourself in the stove.
And really the difference between the two is that we added a little bit of oil to this. And you could also, I know Dole has a version of this where they just put a little bit of Dole or some pineapple juice in as well. Give it a little bit more flavor too. So
Pineapple too.
yeah, and you could throw things like, get creative, throw some, there's a
Black
lot of
peppers.
there's a lot of bell peppers today, tons of these. So sky's the limit, but it's just a nice, easy way to marry the cucumber and the pineapple.
That is so true.
They love each other. course-
Anyway, Chris, if you've never had it before, you could test it out and see. Take a picture and send it up to us.
Yes, yes. So we will be putting this recipe on the club website,
On the club page.
on the club page from Facebook.
Or Facebook. Yeah. Well, actually, it's a group that I'm gonna actually do a page for it because it doesn't seem like we're getting people onto the page.
Okay.
Unless we invite them.
Okay. And Kevin, feel free to invite anybody you know too to our club that you'd like us to get to know.
You're welcome to facilitate a recipe that you wanna share with us.
Yeah. We would love to have you share. And we texted with Kevin as well. For anybody that comes to club, they have a walk-in appointment. And since we got his full name birth date, he should be able to come anytime, or you should be able to come anytime to have a shopping trip without scheduling. So
Any questions, any ideas,
Well,
suggestions?
yeah. Well, hopefully we'll be smoother on getting things going correctly at the beginning.
we're gonna have one Zoom link
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah, that would be useful. Yes, so bon appetit,
There you
I
go.
guess. They say.
Delicious soup time. Do you guys need any other time? You good?
We're good.
I think
we can
we're
close
good.
out. Okay.
I think Justin, is there a way to put any of this recording somewhere?
I'm gonna keep the recording and I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
We can
Okay,
put
I
it on the Facebook group because you don't want to lose the good cooking footage. I think we can, even edit it out and
Yeah,
have a
that's
cool
good.
cooking video.
On and couldn't and would like to know what we did or something.
I agree. Awesome job, you guys, on cooking ingredients using what we got. The pineapple cucumber looks fantastic.
Rhea said she would edit it if you want to send it to her.
Cool. I'll send it over.
You okay?
She's the whiz kid here.
You are the video editor for sure. Well, thanks everyone for being here today, and we'll see you to next club 14.
See you next
Bye.
month.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bon appetit.